I'm going to talk in this video about what makes a country, a big huge country like India, what keeps it growing economically, what are the most important things, or how to know whether real economic development happens or not, and what are the things to do for that, and what we are currently doing and where we are lacking, stuff like that. Okay, so how we can say a country is growing economically? One thing is GDP value. If GDP value keeps on increasing, that's a good sign. But GDP value alone cannot say whether the country is growing economically for all people. Because a huge country like India with 1.4 billion population, creating roughly about 3.8 trillion or 4 trillion US dollars. If it creates, for example, say 5 trillion US dollars next year, even though it's not going to happen, for the understanding sake I'm telling, even if it creates 5 trillion US dollars next year, does that mean we are improving faster than all other countries like USA and all that? Yes, maybe economic growth rate is high, but does that mean all Indian people are growing richer than all American citizens? Like each and every Indian is going to be rich in terms like they are going to have a car, each Indian is going to have their own car, each Indian is going to have their own house, each Indian citizen is able to get access to good quality of education for their children, get access to good quality of medical services in the country. It's not so, right? Why? Because GDP per capita is the number important here. Even though India is said within top 5 in GDP, India is not even in top 50 in GDP per capita. That is a huge difference, right? So India's GDP per capita ranking is around 140 plus. So in real terms, if an entire country is developing or growing economically, their GDP per capita number has to grow significantly higher than the inflation rate. The GDP per capita growth rate should be significantly higher than the inflation rate. Then only in reality the country is growing economically. If we take that number, India is not growing much faster. The 8% or 6% growth rate we say will not reflect in the real economic growth of a country as experienced by all Indian citizens or all Indian people living, like 1.4 billion people will not experience the 8% growth rate in their life, something like that. So what is important? GDP per capita growth rate above the inflation growth rate is very important to say the country is growing. What are the other indicators? This is the main indicator economically. Other indicators can be globally. GDP per capita ranking should also increase side by side. For example, India is currently in 140 plus GDP per capita ranking in the world, and if a country is really growing, the ranking will improve to, for example, after some time India is within the top 100 range, and after some time, 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, India is within the top 50 range, something like that. So that shows the GDP per capita growth in global ranking, shows there is something really happening in the country. What are the other indicators? The exchange rate versus US dollars, whether it is increasing like 5%, 10%, or something like that. Over the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it is not at all happening, because Indian rupee is depreciating against US dollars continuously in the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So that's another indicator saying like Indian economic progress is not really good based on that indicators. What are the other indicators of a growing country? A growing country will have equal opportunity. A growing country will give equal access to education for all its citizens. A growing country will give equal access to health services, medical services to all its citizens equally. So these are indicators of a growing economy in a very simple way. Thanks for watching.